was even more excited than everyone else.
You give out free coffee, obviously.
I need it myself right now. I know I have brain fog. I'm
How
coming
you
off.
feeling?
I feel good, but
Yeah.
I'm coming off of something, so I don't want to get any. You know, you never know. So that's why I was air hugging.
You're a trooper, though. You're here.
No, I love it. I love my team. I was very excited that you were coming.
Well, you can't really call in a sub, can you?
I know. You can. I think they frown upon it. But yes, but I can. But if I can make it, I'm definitely here. But you just did something that I've done actually, and it's something very adventurous. You're obviously not scared of heights. You just did something in Sydney, right?
Oh yeah, we climbed the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Yeah.
Have you never done that before?
I've done it once before, but a lot of my band was there and they hadn't done it, so I said, let's go do that.
That's so funny. That's what me and my band as well. We all went up there. Are you not afraid of heights? Are you?
No, I'm not.
Me neither.
But a couple of people in my band were.
Oh, that's fun.
And they told me that when they got up there, and I'm like, well, then what are you doing here? They're like pushing through it.
Okay.
So I thought it was really cool.
Okay, so I'm not afraid of heights, but then I did the Oculus thing where they do this walk the plank thing.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I fell down the first time. I was like, oh my God, and I wasn't really there. It's on a, it's VR.
I'm not good with that.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of makes me queasy.
It tripped me out. Like in real life, I'd probably be better at something like that. But anyway, I love what you did recently. I'm a huge fan of Lainey Wilson, and you did a duet with her, and it's Go Home With You, right?
Yeah, she's great.
But I love your voices. Your voices colliding together, they complement each other so well. And you actually, this has been a song that's been like done for a minute.
Yeah.
But you just kind of waited to put it out, right?
Yeah, we wrote it in 2020.
Yeah, it's a minute.
And so it sat around for 3 years. But Lainey and I actually recorded it last summer.
Yeah.
And I was ready to put it out, and she had new music coming, so I had to pause on it, and a whole year went by while it was sitting around. So I was so relieved when it came out.
Oh man, it's so good. It's one of those collaborations that doesn't seem manufactured. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it does. It feels like that, but it feels organic. It feels natural. It feels like you just got on stage and decided, hey, let's just sing together tonight. And that's like, it just sounds really, really organic and pure. And nice.
I mean, for me, I just want to sing with someone where it's going to be organic.
Absolutely.
It can't be like, oh, this person's got amazing metrics or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but is there a thing? Because otherwise it's going to, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
I'd much rather it gel.
And you both bled really well into each other, like vocally and harmony-wise. But anyway, do you ever, I had a conversation with Garth here when he was here last, and it was like, he actually tests songs out when he's in a live scenario like that. I've never done that, like at a live show. I feel like that is really brave.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Yeah. I don't know about I wouldn't say I'm testing them out.
But I mean, you just played a song that people don't know, that they're like, you've done that?
Yeah, sure.
Oh. Oh. No, I would be so nervous because it's already like a big, you put out an album and not everyone listens to the whole album, they might just hear a few tracks, and so you're already like, oh, this is an album track, I wonder what they'll think. Right. That's already kind of new. But like to test out a fresh song, that's a different level of confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Or stupidity.
No, it's bravery.
We're going to find out.
No, he told me, I made a joke about myself one time. It's actually Garth, he's like, don't call it that. He's like, call it bravery. Call it what it is. And it is. It's very brave.
Well, I think it's just the believability in what I'm doing. If I believe in this song, really, really believe in it, there's a high chance that the audience will feel that because it's conviction. Yeah. If you have it. When you sing and you believe in what you're singing, Kelly, I feel it. We all feel it. But if you don't...
There could be no trepidation. Yeah. Well, I heard that you've been doing surprise shows, which we've done that. One of my favorite things we've ever done with the band was actually in the UK, and we did a surprise show, just pop-up show, and you've been doing those recently. And it's such a cool, different energy. Yeah. Do you love it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the most odd places to play. We played the Nashville airport. That was the first thing I wanted to do, because I kept walking through the airport going, we should just set up over there and just play. Like, that'd be kind of fun for people to just be there with their luggage going. Yeah. So we played there.
And they're all walking by going, no way, right?
Yeah. Like, well, a lot of people thought it was a tribute band, which was great.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's true. That's
greatest tribute band ever.
Yeah, and because I saw people's faces as they were walking by, and they kind of like looking at me going. It's good.
You know what? I'm going to get into that after the commercial break because they're going to want me to break. But I want to come back to that. We're going to take a short break. Rachel in our audience is going to help us out.
Hi, Kelly and Keith. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, or should I say, g'day. I grew up listening to Keith's music, and some of my favorite memories are listening to Somebody Like You with my dad. In fact, our love of country music inspired a family trip to Nashville about 10 years ago. I fell in love with America, and now I live here in New York City. More with Kelly and Keith when we come back.
Welcome back, y'all. We've got Keith Urban here. Give it up. I want to come back to something that we were talking about before that I was like, oh no, wait, I'll talk about it next break. But I heard you scrapped an entire album one time. Like you worked on it and were like, never mind.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
I've never done it.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of records that's never happened.
Yeah.
The reason it happened was because I was trying to do a particular thing and not just flowing. Like my records are always, every record I've ever made has always been a mix of organized, like structure, I know what I'm going to do, and then a whole bunch of just spontaneity. Freedom of just, like, if I show up at the studio and the band's ready and we're going to track a certain song, but I show up and I just go, I don't really feel like this one.
Yeah.
I've got this other song, and they're like, oh, okay, let's do that. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that it's always flowing. Every song has that flow to it.
Yeah.
And the 615 album that I worked on just didn't have that. It had too much.
Speaking of 615, Nashville, like that's how they write there. So that's when I lived there for almost 15 years, and we have a bunch of mutual writing friends, and that are just incredible writers. But they plan on like a Tuesday, like every Tuesday they meet up, and they're from 2 to 5. And I was like, what?
Right.
I could never write like that. So I could never really fit into that part of the community because I'm like you. I have to have a reason or a purpose, or something has to be stirring in me, positive, negative, whatever, fun. Something has to be stirring in me to like get into the studio and like do something.
Right.
But a lot of people can plan it and just write some amazing song.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Well, I think it's a combination of, like, for example, showing up at 10 a.m. or whatever at the studio, but then seeing what happens.
Yeah,
so it's the
that's
mix
fun.
of the two. It's the two are happening. Like you've got to have
I never
opening
had
night.
those writing sessions.
Really?
No, it was always very more structured. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to get the best of me.
When I first moved to Nashville, it was that thing, you know. And I had a rental car, and I'd drive down to Music Row, 10 a.m. Hi, complete stranger. Let's sit in a windowless room with two yellow legal pads and an acoustic guitar and be really intimate. I'm like, this is hell. Like I couldn't write like that.
Me neither.
So I found my own rhythm and way of doing it, which was
I
much
like
easier,
that.
so.
You show up and you just don't know, but like to have a good time. That's fun. It brings it back to like why we got into music in the first place.
I have to remind people, it's called playing music.
Yeah.
Are you playing? Is there any play?
Yeah.
Or is it all just serious? You know?
I'm stealing that.
Like I play the guitar, we play a show, we play music. The first word every time is play.
Supposed to be fun. Yeah.
Where's the fun? I mean, yes, there's work, but it's got to be fun in there.
Yeah, agreed. Well, your wife posted this, and I'm going to show this photo, but also I want to ask.
See, there's play.
Because
that's
from this
right
photo, I'm not sure that she's interested in what you're doing. I love that she posted this photo, and I was like, she loves the book, Keith. But no, I did want to ask because I know she's got a musical background too, a bit too. I think she was in a band like back in the
in Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, I know that. I saw that maybe like 13 and a half times because someone spilled a Coke on me, so I didn't get the full 13. But anyway, I want to ask because if you both are artistic in that household, you must bounce stuff off of her, right? Like before it goes public. Is she good at that? Are y'all good at that relationship?
Yeah, she always. I mean, she hears everything I do first because, especially if I'm writing at home, of course, or if I have an idea or something. But you know what I've learned is when I play her something, I'm obviously interested in her reaction. Yeah. But I'm really interested in how I feel when I'm playing it for her or anybody else. Oh. Because full circle, and my conviction level in this is it solid? Or is it now a bit shaky because I'm playing it for somebody? Yeah. Because if it is, I might want to figure out why. I felt good before, now I don't feel good playing it for somebody.
What's wrong with it? Yeah.
So I've learned to trust my reaction to things much more because, you know, you may have a song that you write and you play it for someone and they go, I don't know about that one, Kelly. And you're like, no, I 100% believe in this song. Yeah. And you go and do it, and after all, people are like, I really love that song.
This is because of you. For me. Like this song, Because of You, that I had like back in the day, like my label hated it. It didn't rhyme. It was all these things about it that they didn't like. Yeah, and then it went #1 worldwide, and they were like, it was our idea.
Yeah.
And then everybody takes credit for it, but it's one of those things
you
where
sang the hell out of it.
Well, but I think it's hard too sometimes, like not only conviction, it's hard for everybody to have that imagination out. You're like, no, I hear the production or I hear what it can do.
Right.
Or I feel like the message is powerful and it might reach people. Like,
yes.
You know, so I feel like the conviction thing is huge, but also you have to work with people that have that imagination hat that can go with you on the journey before it's fully fledged out, you know?
Yeah, no, it's true. And to your point, you often have the fully realized thing in your head. So you already hear why it works.
Yes.
And the other person's like, I can't imagine what that is.
And then you're like, let me show you, that's my job. Like, that's what I do. Like, I think that's really...
Nicole have a project and she plays me something and she's like, oh, just in this scene, there's no music yet. I'm like, then I can't, the scene feels a little flat. She goes, no, but it won't be once the music's in there. And I'm like, I
need the music.
Hear that. I don't know what's happening there, you know?
Yeah, it is amazing how much music does impact film.
Massive.
Yeah, it's just, it has to be a good marriage for me.
Yeah.
Before we go though, I want to talk about this because being on the road and touring is very different from doing like a Vegas residency, and you're about to start that next week, I think.
Yeah.
So what is this like for you? It's kind of cool because you're in one spot. So for the band, it's kind of cool because you're in one spot and it's like a home base. That's nice.
I resisted doing them for years and years because it sounded like an episode of Severance to me. It's like the same thing over and over every day.
I resisted because it's dry as hell.
Right, that's a whole other challenge.
But I did it, and it's actually not as bad. Like,
No. The truth about it, it's way more like touring than I thought it was going to be. Because the truth is, and you've toured, you know what it's like. You have a stage built. That stage is going to move around from city to city.
Yeah.
But you're walking onto that same stage every night.
Yeah.
Yes, it's in a different town, but it's the same stage you just performed on last night. You're doing pretty much the same set list.
And it's a different audience.
It's a different audience.
Yeah.
That happens in Vegas. So actually I found way more similarities than anything else. I'm just not traveling. That was the only thing that changed.
Yeah.
And you can build stuff that you don't have to put in a truck.
I know.
Which is really fun.
Yeah. It's easier when you have a family, I think, too. I sound like such a mom, but whatever.